All right, let's dive into the world of data analytics. It's one of those things that feels like modern day magic. But like any really powerful tool, it's a double-edged sword. It holds incredible promise, but it's also packed with some serious risks. So let's get into it. You ever get that weird feeling when a website just knows what you want? Or, when your streaming service suggests the absolute perfect movie you've never even heard of? It's not magic, and it's definitely not a psychic. It's something much more real, and it all boils down to one simple thing: data. And the engine behind all this mind reading? It's a field called data analytics. Basically, it's the science of digging through enormous piles of raw information, just mountains of it, to spot patterns, figure things out, and, yeah, even predict what's going to happen next.
So let's start with the shiny side of that sword, the promise. We're talking about the absolutely huge power that analytics gives companies to make way, way smarter decisions.
First off, it's a total game changer for decision making. For, centuries, huge business decisions were made based on a leader's gut feeling. Well, analytics just flips that completely on its head. So instead of guessing what products to stock, a retailer can now look at sales data as it's happening and know for a fact what people are buying. It's about swapping out a hunch for hard facts. Next up, you get this massive boost in efficiency. Think of analytics like an X-ray for a business. It lets you see all the hidden problems, the bottlenecks, the things that are just wasting time and money. Take a logistics company. They can analyze traffic, delivery schedules, and fuel usage to map out the absolute fastest, cheapest routes. And the result? We're talking huge savings. And what does all this add up to? A serious competitive advantage. When you understand your customers and the market this deeply, you can move faster and be way more accurate than anyone else. A bank, for example, can just stop spamming everyone with generic loan offers. Instead, it can craft a personalized offer just for you, based on what you actually do with your money. That's how you win in today's world. So the bottom line is this: when you use it right, data analytics is a powerhouse. It helps companies get smarter, move faster, and, yeah, become more profitable. But, and this is a really big but, that's only half the story. Now we have to talk about the other sharper edge of that sword: the peril. See, just having a ton of data doesn't automatically make you successful. There are some really big hurdles that can bring the whole thing crashing down. And this leads us to what is, without a doubt, the single most critical factor: the quality of your data. It's kind of like cooking, right? If you start with amazing, fresh ingredients, that's your good data, you're going to end up with a fantastic meal, or in our case, a brilliant insight. But if you start with garbage ingredients, bad data, well, you're going to get a garbage result every single time. So these challenges usually fall into three big buckets. First, like we just said, is data quality. Bad data always leads to bad decisions. Second, you've got the nightmare of integration. Most big companies have their data spread out across a dozen different systems that don't talk to each other. Trying to stitch all that together, it is a massive headache. And third, you've got people, cultural resistance. Shifting to data-driven decisions can feel like a threat to the old guard, and people naturally push back. So you see, getting this right isn't just about buying some fancy software. True success really depends on a trifecta. You need squeaky clean data, you need strong leaders pushing for the change, and you need everyone in the organization to actually be on board with it. Okay, so that's all the theory. But what does this really look like out in the wild? Let's jump into a case study and see how the airline industry uses analytics to get around these challenges and really deliver on that promise. Airlines use this really smart four-stage approach. It starts with descriptive analytics, which just asks, what happened? They're looking back at flight delays, complaints, that sort of thing. Then they move to diagnostic to figure out, okay, why did it happen? Was it bad weather, a mechanical issue? Next, things get really cool with predictive analytics, which tries to answer what will happen. This is how they forecast demand to adjust ticket prices and make sure they have enough staff. And finally, the ultimate step is prescriptive, which tells them, what should we do? This is where the system can actually recommend the best crew schedules to prevent problems from even starting. And the payoff for all this hard work is pretty incredible. By truly mastering their data, airlines achieve this amazing triple win. Their efficiency goes way up. The customer experience gets so much better with fewer delays, and at the same time, their operating costs go down. It's a win-win-win. So let's zoom out and bring this all home. What's the big takeaway from our deep dive into data analytics? Let's wrap it up. Okay, quick recap. The potential here is just massive. Smarter decisions, incredible efficiency, and a real competitive edge. But getting there is tough. You've got to wrestle with data quality, messy system integration, and of course, human nature. And as the airlines showed us, the real key to success is using that full spectrum approach, looking at the past to predict and shape the future. Look, if you remember only one thing from this whole explainer, please make it this. It all boils down to your raw materials. Good data equals smart decisions. Bad data equals very, very costly mistakes. It really is that simple. And with that, we're at the end. But I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Now that you've seen the power, the peril, and the whole process, how could this framework change the way you work, your job, your company, maybe even your entire industry? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.